How's it? Welcome to episode 39 of the same old Arsenal USA show. It's a bit of a mishmash of podcasts here tonight. Obviously, Ryan and I, same old Arsenal USA. Below me is Mikey Hers from not only Not Another Arsenal podcast, but he's also a big part of what Magic Mike has going on at the Gooners pod.
Was.
And you know what? What? Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
To be exact, I think the final number was 25% of 2%. Is that what you said, Mike?
Well, 2% was really the 2% was the float that we had available to the public, and so yes, you got 25% of that.
25% of 2%. Okay, so that's 0.5%. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
This is now in England. This is now in England and maths bell. So
yeah,
you got the ding tonight.
We bring it all to you here at this show. Let's get into it.
West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
Are we back?
He's passed out already. How many bottles of wine? How many bottles of wine deep are you already?
0. As a matter of fact.
Okay. So yeah, Ryan, I'll start with you because you're old hat here. You're here every week. We come to expect this from you now. So what's going on, man? Anything?
Well, I guess the best way to describe what's going on, or I guess what we're going to talk about, is my beer of the week. It is by Spider Bite Beer Company. It's called Shut It, because I'm sure half the shit that we're going to talk about, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it, especially from these two goons below me. Or blowing me. I'm just kidding. Yeah,
little Modelo Especial.
A lot of interesting things have happened the last couple days, and I'm kind of sick of it, but I know we're going to get into it, and it's going to be an interesting chat. So I'm excited for both mics to be here, and Tanner, cool.
Great. Good talk. Mike Hers is back 2 weeks in a row. How are you, man? Thanks for being here.
Of course. Always a pleasure to be on, man. Here to try to take the piss of my counterpart in the Gooner podcast just a little bit to see how much I could go. But thanks for having me back, man. Ready to talk all things Arsenal.
Turning the screw, aren't you?
We are going to talk all things Arsenal, but I feel like the two of you might have some unresolved issues here. If you guys look closely, Magic Mike is proudly wearing his Three Lions kit from, I don't know, 1980 something.
No, this is a bit newer than that, because I was nowhere near this huge in 1980. This would have been a blanket for me in 1989. But I was about 5'11", 135 at this time in 1989, and now I'm 5'11", 935. So yeah, this is relatively newer, but yeah, it's not been an easy few weeks. I mean, it's been a great few weeks and a tough few days. National rivalries have come in the midst of podcast co-hosts. Friendships have been threatened. Moms have been talked about.
Oh,
bring
my mother into this.
Bets have been made and lost, and there's a changing of the guard. I want to do it tonight and just say how proud I was of the Three Lions, and it's time to get back into the new situation that we all got going on, which is boom, the Arsenal.
Man the match.
Now, hang on a minute, because I assume you're going to turn that around.
And of course, in taking my shirt off, I completely knocked the headset out of my head, so I can't hear anything anyone is saying right now.
Fantastic.
Give me a minute.
Awesome. That's fucking awesome.
I
figure we'll talk a little bit about the Euro final. There's actually quite a bit to talk about with the Euro final. I personally, first of all, I will assume that Mike and Mike, you guys, Mike and Mike. Boy, I didn't see that one coming. Yeah, right. I assume you both watched
Which
it.
one of us is the fat one, and which one of us is the
Jewish
one?
Well, yeah. Jesus.
I got both of those covered. Mike, we don't need you anymore. I can do both.
I was going to say. Golic lost a lot of weight, man.
I know. Everyone ends up losing a lot of weight except for me. Ryan,
did you watch the Euro final?
I did indeed.
Okay. So we all did watch the Euro final. We talked about this last week. My allegiance was to England, but not for any other reason other than basically just Arsenal, Bukayo Saka. That's it. I didn't really. I was very upset for about 5 minutes for Bukayo Saka at the end. My heart just broke seeing his reaction to everything. But I guess, Mikey Hers, I'm going to start with you because you are all Italian here.
Yeah, let me.
So talk to us. How do you feel?
Change my light to blue here, Tanner. I'm going to try to. There you go, Italian blue. Okay, go ahead.
Ooh. To be fair, let the audience know, Mike had to take off his gold chain that he was wearing before because it was just offending Magic Mike. So it was weird.
I did have pizza for lunch this afternoon, so I can't admit it. I'm just gonna change my outfit throughout the entire show today.
And
you know what? That's how you know
all the better for being able to watch it.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
That's how you know he's lost a ton of weight in the last month or so because he has old clothes and he's been able to throw on like 5 layers and he just keeps on peeling his shirts off like an onion. That's how loose his clothes is now. So my man's dropping pounds like crazy.
And I smell like an onion as well.
Like he dropped second period French. I dig it. So Mikey Hers, how you feel, man?
Euros, good, man. I like you guys know because I'm a Serie A kid, mostly in the 90s and early 2000s. It's what I focused on the absolute most. So I've always kind of liked the Italian team. So whenever like Mexico or the U.S. gets knocked out, I briefly, switch my alliance to the Italians when in like World Cup or European competitions. Excuse me. So
Mexico got knocked out so early in this one, though.
Oh yeah. Mexico.
In this Euro.
Who said, I forgot. One of the guys said Mexico, yeah. Guatemala. They're having a tough time making it to the World Cup, so I don't think they're going to make the Euros anytime soon, Mike. But no, grand freaking tastic, man. And because I was trying to sort out my feelings in the sense that I'm an Arsenal fan, and I like Italy, but I'm not Italian. And so because of that, the whole Saka situation was very bittersweet for me. Bittersweet. I mean, I'm equal. So it was a bittersweet situation for me. But I will say this. It took me like 30 minutes, an hour or so of processing. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to be happy for Italy. And I love myself some Saka, but he's an English player and he missed the penalty and I'm okay with it now. Like I've moved past it. Saka, the Arsenal player, will be rehabilitated and ready for the season. So I'm all happy days that Italy won, man. And I will say this, it was a spectacular final. Like if you were a neutral, that every team, both teams had their pressure points. Both teams had their moments in the game. And you're like, holy shit, England, like the first 20, 30 minutes, they're going to score, and then Italian took over. And then, back to Italy and then Italian. It was a fantastic final for a neutral fan. And the fact that it went all the way to penalties, I was surrounded by a ton of people that did not know a whole lot of football. And I know this judging by the comments they were making.
He was at home.
I was at home. I'm at my wife. Because I'm at a random.
46 kids who don't know anything about
yeah,
football.
and you always hear it, right? Because like the guys are like, they say some like awkward shit, like they call like a winger a fullback or something, and you just know they're trying to force some fake knowledge. And I'm the whole time like I'm drinking with my friends, and I'm like, oh God, Mike, don't call them out. Just let them enjoy the game. But it got everybody, even though they weren't like big football fans, they got the whole bar routed up and like they were all cheering by the end. I will say it was a solid like 50-50 England-Italy. So it was kind of nice. The penalty shootout was absolutely wild with people just jumping up and down. So really good time. Really enjoyed it. And then, of course, brought some tension and certainty Rattle.
So happy for you, my friend.
You don't look it, Mike. I don't. Why are you crying right now?
Because I'm only now getting over my nausea and angst and upset. I mean, like I really this Euro, and I just took the baton from Mike without being handed it. This Euro reminded me very much of World Cup '90, which is exactly when I fell in love with the English national team. It was when I fell in love with football in general, was in London, 88 to 90, and living through that World Cup alongside English fans who at that time had been 24 years since any kind of glory. And most of the people that I knew in my circles hadn't ever experienced it before. And then getting eliminated from the World Cup in a semifinal that year in the same painful way that this was, although without the whole Arsenal connection and the Saka element of it. But just absolutely heartbroken. But as time goes by, you start putting things in perspective. And, I was prepared for England to lose that game. I was prepared for England not to make it anywhere near that game. And I was really kind of very pleased and excited by watching Italy play in that tournament. But when it's a final at Wembley and that's the team that's in front of you, it becomes really bittersweet. And, there were moments in the game where, it really turned it into a very, very angry situation. I'll say Bonucci on Saka was not my favorite moment of the tournament. If that was that Chiellini.
No, it's Chiellini.
Yeah, Chiellini. Yeah, I mean,
you mean the horse collar?
The horse collar.
The
horse collar, body slam, whatever. But and you just knew it was going to be penalties. And I mean, really, for 2 days, I've just been in a funk. I haven't really wanted to talk about it. I haven't really been that expressive on social media about the whole Saka thing, not because I wasn't thinking of it, but because I just don't, sometimes things can be so big and so upsetting. And I'm not saying to anybody that says anything that, people should express themselves however they want. But sometimes I'm just like, this is so big that am I saying something because I really have something to say, or because I just have to get my name out there on record saying I support Saka and so on. The whole thing just makes my mind spin. And it threw me in a kind of a tailspin. And I've only really kind of come out of that, but it's a game until it's not a game. And the thing that upsets me more than the game is the stuff that isn't about the game.
Yeah, we all, I think, are in I don't think there's anything we would all, the four of us, agree on more than what you just brought up, Mike. It's disgusting to see that. I mean this when I say this. On the one hand, you see these idiots jump up and down if it's a United fan with Rashford. I know Sancho hasn't kicked the ball for them yet, but when Rashford does something good for United, they jump up and down. But then the minute something like what happened on Sunday happens, and now it becomes racial, and I don't understand that. You either hate the guy because of his skin color, and when you say the things that you said, not any of us, you meaning the things that I saw on Twitter, on Instagram, those idiots, you're putting yourself out there for the world to see, and it's absolutely repulsive to me.
And we have to remember one thing though as well, because there's something that simultaneously upsets me, not as much as the abuse, but kind of it's on the coattails of the abuse, is people forgetting what social media is. And I'm not talking about the people who are using it for abuse and for harm. I'm talking about people who are forgetting that social media is a way of equalizing 2 voices, 2,000 voices, or 20,000 voices against 200 million. And, and that is in many ways what keeps perpetuating stereotypes of entire groups of mostly good people as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm hesitating because I don't want to sound like an apologist for the fans of England and the rowdy fans who, because of drink and animus and insecurity, and it's been 55 years and all of that, act out in a way that's destructive. And I mean, it tends to happen in some countries more than others. It is not unique to England by any means. It isn't not unique to England by any means historically either. And I think that the world has come a long way, but social media has kept it from appearing that way. And I think painting English fans with that thick brush, and some of my closest friends and fellow Arsenal supporters have done that. To my dismay, painting everyone with the same brush is as big of a problem. Again, I shouldn't equate the two at all. It's a problem because it encourages further hatred for something that really doesn't deserve it. Does Harry Kane deserve to be hated 361 days out of the year? Yeah. Or 358 days out of the year? Yeah. And you could even argue on the other one, but all English people are not like that. All English football supporters are not like that. And I think it's a lot less than there used to be that are like that. And it's just saddening because the entirety of the community has shot itself in the foot by amplifying and letting all this happen again.
Yep. And the fact is, I mean, this exists in any arena.
Passionate.
Well, yeah, and I don't want this to turn into it will not turn into politics, but it's everywhere we look now, where the painting with the broad brush because that's just easier. Let's face it. Is it easier to paint your wall with the broad brush or with the little itty bitty, portrait paint brush? Obviously just the broad brush, that's the easier thing to use. And that's probably a real shitty comparison. But the fact is, it's just what people do. And to your point about social media and progression within the human society, and I mean the world over. I don't mean here in America. I don't mean in the UK or I mean the world over. Progression. Social media has done nothing but cripple that progression. Absolutely crippled it. And social media will 110%, in my opinion, be the downfall of civilized society. And that is my...
That said, follow the Gooners Pod on Twitter and Instagram, please. Now,
follow David Arse Bro Ryan.
Ryan, should you have to have verified ID to be on Twitter?
It's funny.
Yes or no?
I'm gonna answer. A good person who's podcasting. He's with the Guns and Yellow Ribbons. I'm like forgetting his name.
Trev or Fergus?
Trev, old man Trev. Sorry, Trev. He tweeted out a petition to verify ID, and I retweeted it. I signed it. It's sick, but you look at the Instagram post that I saw and some of the Twitter posts. You see no picture. Cowards. I mean, people want to call out Southgate for being a coward for the penalties. You want to call out Grealish or Sterling. The real cowards are those people, and Mike, you couldn't have said it better. It's sick that we got to deal with this still in this society. When at least for me growing up and learning about history, and history was my favorite subject. We're all drinking here. That's not good.
Gary making
Gary.
Passive aggressive comments.
I know, right? But yeah, growing up in history, like the one thing I learned about, segregation and racism, and that was a huge thing. And learning about MLK and the assassination, all that, and you're just like, oh, this is history. But it's no, it's not. I mean, yeah, the events are history, but this thing is still going on. And I completely agree. I think you said, Tanner, is social media is just amplifying it, and it's keeping it going, I think.
And what it's done, it's given the voice to the one who, and I'm going to say this, and this might be a little divisive in itself. Maybe you guys disagree with me on this, but I think that I would bet that not everyone who puts out these racist comments on social media are actual racists. This is the problem. They don't hate Marcus Rashford because he's black. They're doing it for attention. They think that
a lot of destructive behavior is that way as well.
Well, that's exactly it.
And ultimately, the lines get blurred to the point where it really doesn't matter. Because if you have racist intentions or abuse, and some of the stuff I saw was called racist, and it wasn't. It was just abusive and disgusting.
There was a guy. And I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about because I got into it with him. Yep. He's got the same name that I do.
I didn't get into it. I just said I'm not retweeting
Spirit animal. It better not have been you.
But no.
I'm kidding. I know.
But and nothing he said was racist.
No,
And
it's
I
just
did
very
see-
abusive.
And it was very abusive. It was not racist. That doesn't make, boy, how do you, doesn't make it any
while
better.
you guys are
Yeah.
slightly talking about that subject, here's kind of my point of view on Twitter or social media in general. I know, look, there's no flipping a switch. I don't think they're going to verify because they're going to lose too much accounts, and losing accounts meaning their stock's going to fall. It's not going to look as profitable, not as appealing. And quite frankly, social media companies aren't going to go for that. That's my core belief into why it's not going to be ID'd anytime soon. And I fully understand that people are worried that their personal information's out there, but I guess it's the cost of using the platform. I will say this, and this is approach that Mikey takes and an approach that I take that are slightly different. Mikey is willing to fight somebody on something like that, on a bad comment. So I'm a big believer, personally. Like, we all saw the Instagram chat thing for Saka right after the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It slightly annoys me, or not annoys me, I'm sorry, lack of better words. I do not agree with quote tweeting, retweeting, replying, or calling out. I am more of a block and mute and just ignore, because that's how I look at social media as like, you're going to amplify a fuckwit's opinion, not even opinion, a fuckwit's hate. And that and I guess it gets exposed more. And by getting exposed more, I think it's viewed from our people. I'm not trying to say that
it takes an incredible amount of restraint to do what you're saying, but your method is, look, all you have to do is be a parent, and you don't even have to be a parent to know that, the way you get something to stop is to ignore it and to give it no airspace. But in practice,
it's real
hard AF, man.
I'm telling you,
I
am public enemy number one when it comes to that, because I'm ready to go.
They didn't want to call you out, but there you go, buddy.
I'll call myself out for it, guaranteed. I'm 110%. I'm dropping the hat. Let's go. We're in at the first, and that's a problem I have. That is a problem.
And in this court, fighting.
Exactly. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I have a temper. I know that, and it has gotten me in a lot of trouble. It has gotten my ass kicked before. No one ever wins a fight, and
your temper generally is to fight for good, though. At least
I hope
you
so.
They're not always necessarily the best fights to fight, but
exactly.
in the time that I've known you fight for the right side, at least.
I do 110%, Mikey, agree with you that when we put these things out there, when we're retweeting the awful comments that we see to these guys, we're giving the commenter exactly what they want. We're giving them more airtime. And because I don't want to tell people, I don't want to tell black people how to react, because I'm not black. It's just that simple. I don't want to tell someone else how to respond in that situation. If it were me, I'd like to think that cooler heads somehow prevail, but I don't like seeing it perpetuated out there just to keep going and going and going, because the person that put the original comment out there, that's what they want. They're thriving. Yeah. They're thriving on that attention. They're the kind of person who says there's no such thing as bad attention. We can motherfuck them all we want.
Attention.
That's what they want. That's why I said maybe they're making the racist comment not necessarily because they hate black people or they hate Hispanics or Asians or women or this. They're just putting it out there to get the attention, and they know that's a way to do it. That's example prime A of how to get the attention. Negative, I mean, they're never going to get positive attention, but the negative attention, and they don't care.
Unless you lose a bet and you got to wear one of their pieces of merch for 20 shows, as I now have to do because of fucking Italy.
The very last thing, by the way, the last comment from Gary is brilliant. Tanner, in case you want to highlight it. The last thing I will say.
Say it again.
By the way, that's what I was laughing at, not what what Tanner was talking
about. That's absolutely brilliant, by the way. I'm gonna say.
That's the thing about these podcasts is so there's no you don't have to identify yourself. This is completely anonymous. So how are we supposed to know?
So
thought we were brothers.
Fucking great. I'll say this to the credit of the people I follow and credit to the local Brits. They have done an amazing job, and for the first time in a very long time, as negative social media could be, my timeline has been vastly flooded with positive notes. And I follow mostly, Arsenal accounts, obviously, but I'm seeing positive words for Sancho, for Rashford, for Saka, and it seems like a massive part of the population is coming together in defense of them, which kind of speaks to what Mikey was saying. The fuckwits that you see on social media do not 100% represent the values of England. And slightly personal story, for as optimistic as I really try to be, and I try to let things roll off and not let social media influence me. And Mikey was being very nice by not saying it was me. I allowed the toxicity to get to me a little, and even I was feeling a little hard done, and feeling a little like irritated by Brits, and then like Mikey being about.
By the way, they're English. They're not Brits. Scotland and
I don't want to get roped them in.
Well, not Northern Ireland. Scotland and Wales weren't.
I'm going to get canceled by 3/4 of it. So
you're get canceled by Jason Davies.
Yeah, I'm going to buy Jason Davies. But you know what? It's brilliant to have good friends like you, Mikey. Despite your poor taste in football, of course. That too.
Hey Ryan, do you have any more popcorn that I can have?
I know, but it's absolutely brilliant to have good friends to talk you down and, quite frankly, point out that I'm being a fucking idiot. And so, if you have a good friend,
I didn't say you were being an idiot. I just showed you that you were being.
That's what I'm. But a good friend will show you that you're an idiot. Is my point. So, Mikey, thank you for showing up. I'm an idiot. I mean, you would think I would know this, but sometimes my emotions get away from me. But my point is,
lovable
social media could do that to you, man. So, well balanced, yeah. Guys, we lost the season already, so should we just wrap it up?
Hang on. I want to make one more comment if I can on this matter. And Magic Mike, you brought it up about Twitter verification, or identity verification, or whatever. There's a way to do this without having all of your personal information out there. They don't need to verify you with a driver's license or a passport or anything else. They can block you. They can cancel your account. All they have to do is track your IP address. And sure,
there are ways around that too.
Well, you could go to
a lot more inconvenient, though, right?
But it will satisfy, I think, to a degree, both sides of the argument. It will keep your personal information from being in the hands of everyone, because if we did this and your personal information was out there, we're getting into the purge realm at this point, right? You go out there and you say something, you've got a mob outside your house because we can see where you live.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you posted that kind of stuff on LinkedIn.
Right, yeah. But
and I don't know what the right answer to that is, because I don't want Twitter to become LinkedIn, but I also don't want it to
tracking. But tracking the IP address simply means that if your account if you put out abusive, harmful, racist, comments, tweets, if you're promoting violence, cover the entire spectrum, your IP address is tracked and you're automatically canceled. That IP address goes in the bin. It is done. No one from that IP address can set up an account on that platform ever. Now, the ways around it: go to the coffee shop, wherever you are, and you can log on to a local Wi-Fi, whatever it might be. Now you create a new account. But, oh, by the way, you're going to go home and you're still going to access the platform from at home, and then it registers that IP address, and it says, and the red flag goes up and says, wait, that IP address has been blocked. You can no longer do this. So I think there's a way to do this. There are people out there that are smart enough to figure it out. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Those are the only three that I really deal with. I don't really deal with Facebook too much anymore, but figure it out, guys. Can
I say something quick to Philip in the chat room? Before you bring up yellow badges, you better be ready to talk about yellow badges. All right?
Yeah.
Come see me after.
Yeah. Nope. I'm with you there. That's it. That's what I'm saying. You just can't have that shit out there. You just can't. So, yes, we The season is over. It's done. Fold the club. Fold the club. We're done. Sack everybody. Arteta out. Edu out. Kroenke out. Fuck, I'm out. Done. See ya. I'm kidding.
We're a clothing company.
See, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it differently. I'm Hibernian till I die.
You won't.
I'm Hibs now. I'm all about
all
Hibs.
All Hibs. Let's go.
All Hibs all the time. I'm ready to go. We got a great young keeper, and we're ready. That Macy kid's going to take us to the Scottish Premier League.
Hey, let it be known. I've said this on multiple podcasts. Matt Macy is a better goalkeeper than Emilio Martinez. You heard
Emilio.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Is he better than Emiliano?
Emilio.
I didn't say that. I said Emilio.
Well, he is better than Emilio Martinez.
Yeah, that's what I said. To be fair.
If you guys want,
I'm still going with this season, though. The youth in shirt.
I have a podcast that I run. It's called Not Another Milan Podcast. If you guys want a new Italian team to support because Italy's cold enough.
No, the next podcast you start is going to be called "Please Not Another Mike Hernandez Podcast." That's what it's going to be. Because there's more of those than there are Arsenal podcasts right now.
Oh my goodness. So who watched it? Who watched it?
I watched it. Watched it like when as far as I'm working and it's on in the on the television. Yeah. I saw most of the talking points, so I can speak without pulling what's called a Webby in the podcasting industry. After Matthew Webb, who did a Gooners Talk podcast with Tom Canton, had admitted halfway through after talking about the match that had just finished that he hadn't seen it at all. So it's called pulling a Webby, and I'm not going to pull a Webby here, but I gave it the attention it deserved. Let's put it that way.
None of us are jumping off a bridge over this, are we? Anyone?
No, honestly, I saw it's because you Tanner tweeted like your pros and your cons. I saw a lot of pros. I gotta be honest. There's pros and cons. I get it.
Their second goal didn't even count. It was offsides. It was bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and Pepe's penalty probably would have retaken it because the goalkeeper, Dabrowski or something was his name, came off his line early.
And he would have made it. He would have also Partey would have made his shot if the goal was about a foot or two wider.
If this and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas.
Is this what we're doing right now?
I mean, at the end of the day, look, preseason in any sport is
at the end of the day, Mike.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if Mike's grandmother had a penis, she'd be Andy's mom. If
my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. It's that simple, right? So it's preseason. It's about conditioning. Even Arteta's.
And there's nobody that knows more about conditioning than the two mics on the bottom of this podcast. We are the conditioning masters.
It's about conditioning. It's about game time, getting comfortable, building chemistry with your teammates, and the result is insignificant. Do you want to win? Sure. You want to win every game. I get it. But for crying out loud, I see people jumping off a bridge over a 2-1 loss when we've had 4 training sessions. This team that played today that started in the first half, because I think the first half was worse than the second half, but the first half was this isn't the starting 11. This isn't our best 11. It's not even close. So I'm not really putting much weight into it. The biggest thing for me, no injuries. Knock on wood. No injuries.
Yeah, knock on wood, because our injuries tend to show up after about 4 days of clubbing after the match.
I want to start, Ryan, with you on this. And you're the academy guy. You watch the academy matches. You're up. You're
chubby for the kids.
Yes. Talk to me about Arthur Okonkwo.
Oh no.
Yeah, honestly, it sucks because I honestly didn't get a bad game. It just so happens that, like, if you were to say, like, give me one highlight about Nkunku and how he did, look at their first goal. it's horrible.
even before that, man. He kind of alligator armed, as they call it, a cross.
Yeah.
So it's tough. He's was he 18, 19? He's a young guy. Honestly, I think, and we'll probably get into this later, but I think he should take over Runnison in the pecking order.
Well, they're now equals. Because they both now performed
yeah.
exactly the same.
But I think he's going to be such a good goalie. Yeah, he's going to be really good for us. Or we'll make a lot of money for him. And the fact that he's so highly rated and he's highly touted at such a young age is crazy because we all know how goalies are. Goalies, they age like fine wine. They don't. I mean, take Buffon out of it. Even still, like goalies are in the league for quite a while. So I'm excited. I'm excited for him. It's nerves. It's his first game as a first team player. It's his first senior appearance. Like you're gonna be nervous. I don't care who you play. They could have played Bournemouth. You're still gonna make mistakes. And again, I know this is my shtick, but yeah, that back pass from Cedric wasn't great either. So let's not get into that.
No, Cedric put him in that position.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta think we just have Leno right now as like this is our guy, and even there's talk of him leaving. So he really has to put in 100%. He really has to show Arteta what he's got because he could really do some he can make some moves in our depth chart. And we're talking he's all but agreed to Leon, but we were talking with Owana. There was talk we were going to sign I don't even know, someone else. But the fact is we really haven't been linked with anybody else lately. And I think that Arteta and staff really see a lot in this guy. And also, too, second half, let's not forget Karl Hein. I get it. Estonia, most people probably don't even know it's a country. But, yes, he is their starting goalie.
How could we not know? Didn't Mark Poom come from Estonia? I mean, he's our second Estonian goaltender. It's not even like it's a –
I'm a big geography guy, and when I was talking about it, when I was talking about Estonia, my friend looked at me dumbfounded, and he goes, "What's Estonia? Is that a capital of some country?"
Let me challenge you real quick. Country. What part of Mexico is Guatemala? Southern or northern?
That's a trick question. It's Eastern. You liar.
I was about to say something. I was about to make a reference to what we talked about the bags of certain stuff, but I'm not going to do that now. Because you were so nice to me earlier in the pod.
But yeah, no. So I'm excited. I'm excited. It's difficult because we have bigger fish to fry in other positions, but to have such strength at the keeper position at such a young age is something we really haven't seen in a while. And people want to, throw Martinez out there. He wasn't good until the last games. But anyway,
by the way, one half of my ancestry comes from the Baltic countries, and including Estonia. So
you could be related. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be like a long lost nephew or something.
Of whose? Of Mark Pooms or Carl Ryan?
Your Ryan's nephew, Mike.
Ooh,
that's what we just figured out.
Wait, so that means I'm the uncle? No, if he's mine. Yeah, I'm the uncle.
Does that mean it would be incest if I no, you're not related to her by marriage. That's right.
It's just wrestling, Mike. What are you talking about? Oh, Megan. Yeah, sorry.
I wasn't gonna actually. Okay.
Anyway.
Wait, Ryan. You know the only reason Mike's here is so so hopefully Megan walks in the room.
Yeah, but then I realized that the All-Star game's on today, and until that ends, it's
Wait. What All-Star game? I'm kidding.
The cricket All-Star game.
Yeah, but so the one thing with Okonkwo that I like is his size and his athleticism, and for me, that's what you want in a goalkeeper. That's what I would look if I'm coaching or managing. I'm looking for those two traits in a goalkeeper.
How tall is he?
6'6", according to now. That's different because I looked him up a week ago, and
can't teach height.
You cannot teach height, just like you can't teach speed. And you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Big Cass. And he's 7
foot tall. And you can't teach
that. Ryan has no clue what's happening right now.
Bada boom!
Enzo Amore, the Italian. We're going
Bada boom! Smartest guy in the room. How you doing?
He's not doing so great right now. Actually,
he's not.
I'm sure he's very happy about. I'm sure he's very happy about the Euros, though.
But every now and then, I throw that very first promo on when he went off on the Dudley boys because it is something else. Hey, Devon, I see you staring at me. You don't watch yourself.
By the way, as long as we're going down rabbit holes and onto tangents, you don't know how many phone calls I got today checking up on me when people found out that Mr. Wonderful died.
Oh, Paul
They're like-
Orndorff, yeah.
Well, not Paul,
Man,
but they
oh,
thought, they heard Mr. Wonderful and they got
Oh.
I
scared.
thought it was
to me.
you. I thought it was, yeah, fast.
Yeah, they thought, oh my God, that must be Mike that they're talking about.
Low hanging fruit. Anyway,
Is that what you call them?
well, I mean, I'm 42 years old, so anyway.
Wait, raisins or fruit? Are they veg? No, but-
It's there now, Tanner. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Hey, Mikey, let me give you one more stack of dimes.
I'm not even.
I always say button on a fur coat.
Thin,
I'm gonna get-
thin,
to
and
the
thin, short, and wrinkly. Anyway, so Mikey,
Who was making the vomit noises before?
that was me.
That was. I think the chat wants to talk about football. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah. So Mikey, did you get to watch? I'm sorry, I missed it when I asked if everybody watched. I didn't see.
I didn't watch the full game. I just watched
Okay.
a few highlights. I saw like the goal, the Eddie miss. Very few things. But yeah, I did. I didn't watch in great detail. But yeah, I mean, the two goals were just goofy as fuck. And Eddie should have scored. I feel like Eddie should be scoring those goals at the point where we believe his level is at right now. I mean, it's not like there's pressure or anything, right? So. That was a pretty bad miss, and I will say I missed the Nelson one. I see a lot of people saying Nelson missed one. It didn't pop up in the highlights, so I don't know. I was kind of surprised. I will say this: I was slightly surprised to see certain players play, despite I understand that we are missing a big part of the squad. But like Nelson, I just don't see him staying here at all. Kolasinac, I don't see him staying here at all. So I am slightly surprised that they got minutes in. So.
Shop window, baby. It's the best way to do
It
it.
was a big shop window day. At least I hope it is. I mean, although the
Wow.
comments after the game don't necessarily, it doesn't sound like we're really shopping too many of our guys out. But
I mean, it's funny we talk about shopping window. I think the big talking point. I actually talked to Tanner about this, and I think he kind of disagreed with me. But a big thing, one thing that I noticed looking at the lineup and just looking, watching the game, AMN was in the center of the midfield.
Yeah.
So to me, that signals, he's gone. He's out of here. This is the shop window because. You play the guy in the right back. You play him as a left back. You play him as a left wing back. And then all of a sudden, he's a midfielder. Yeah, this is all. Oh, look who it is, the luchador himself. But yeah,
I want my T-shirt, hombre. I want my T-shirt.
But yeah,
hombre.
so we talk about it being not important, and you're fair. It is. It's not really that important, but you do get glimpses of the academy that normally people don't see, and then also on top of that, to me, some things are very telling as far as who's staying, who's going, and who still hasn't got his fucking number yet. Can the Smith please announce that? Can he announce him? I was the only reason why I was so excited about today's game was that I could finally know what his number is going to be. But no, because they showed was it Hillison, James Hillison or Hillison, 32. I'm like, okay, ESR, that's his number. He's gone.
That wasn't
And
James Hillison. That was
Yeah, in training yesterday, it was James
Hill. 32. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah,
35. I'm sorry. I'm thinking 35.
So I was like, he's getting a number. And then what do you know? He's 32. So there's rumors going around. I think Chris Wheatley tweeted that his contract wasn't signed yet. And once his contract's signed, he's going to decide his squad number. So
is there any way, I mean, like would I don't know if it's the FA, if it's whatever, I mean, would they have really had an issue if he wore a kit with the question mark on the back?
That would be
like,
awesome.
it's not an official. It's not an official game.
Double zero. Who cares?
No, 0 wouldn't even have done the trick. It's just like no freaking clue. Or he could have had like the patches of all 20 Premier League teams on it. Like that wouldn't have been as funny.
IDK. I don't know.
Yeah, IDK 69 or so, but like no, just the question mark on the back. That would have been perfect because who gives a fuck with like the normal rules that would apply.
Slightly based on what Ryan said, that it's an indication of who's staying, who's going. I know I'm jumping a little bit, or I'm jumping away from the game, but I know the Saliba news broke recently that it's pretty much confirmed that he's going to Marseille. To me, that tells me the Ben White deal is done. Unless Arsenal is that freaking stupid, and I'm not
love
saying
Harry Clark.
I'm not saying they're not that stupid. I'm just saying, just imagine. agreeing for the player to do the medical. Say,
We just
yeah,
offered
you're
15 million for Zach Medley, I believe.
Yeah. It has to be an indication, right? I mean, because I just don't see it going any other way. Like, no way they would agree to loan what a lot of people think should be our starting right back this season. That's either near or there, right? But and not have Ben White secure. I feel like that deal's already done. Don't quote me. I'm not a gerbil, a rabbit, or any type of rodent. I am not an ITK. So
A rabbit.
I mean,
Or any type of rodent. Rabbits are not rodents, man.
Yeah, I think they're very confident. I don't think the deal's done yet. To be honest, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I do think Sleep is a little soft for this league. I think they know that. I think they could tell. The fact that he chose the French league over the Premier League is very telling. And it's not good for us. So I think we're just going to send him out, get as much money as we can. And I think if he's not long for this Arsenal world, then it sucks. But I think we could start the season with Marie holding Gabrielle. And then, you could throw Chambers in there. You have Clark. I think he's going to go out on loan, Clark. But I do think we're going to sign. But don't get me wrong. I think Ben White is going to happen. But
why have we not heard anything about or have I just completely missed it, about the kid that's been playing in Germany? No, the kid that's been playing in Germany, the Greek kid.
Mavropanos? Yeah, we sold him.
He's gone.
We did some. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
see,
I
was focused on the three lions. So
No,
sorry,
You mean get 3 Saka unicorns?
I webbied the Mavropanos situation.
I thought Mavropanos was that. I thought he was sold like 7 million.
Loan obligate. Well, okay, it's a loan. If they get relegated, it's an option. If they stay up in the Bundesliga, it's an obligation to buy.
I thought
And
it was
then
just a straight sale.
Gwendo like Gwendo needs
A
to
loan
hit
with an
certain-
obligation. It's basically.
I thought he needed to hit certain criteria too, Mikey. I don't think it was a have to buy. I could be wrong. Yeah,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. I think it becomes an obligation when he hits a certain criteria. I think it might just be games, which I didn't fully read the article because I'm somewhat illiterate, and Megan can attest to that. But I think the hurdles that he has to cross over, I think, are not very steep. So, bye Gendo.
We just keep getting ourselves into these Saliba situations, though, where it's it just gives everybody the opportunity to take whatever view they want in the most negative light. There's no in between, and there's so much. Hey, Darren, there's so much like back and forth on Twitter between people who I know and who have pretty big accounts about is he soft because he's choosing to go to France? Is there an okay excuse because he has obviously dealt with some personal hardship and is a very young kid? Is it about liking to record people masturbating? Is it about his actual play on the training? Well, I joke about that, but I actually don't think that that's a small thing. Well, and I don't mean I don't think that's a minor. I don't think that's a minor element.
Minor, really, as well.
I don't think that's a chode of
chode. Jesus.
I think it is an example of his maturity. I think that's why I came on your pod instead of inviting you guys.
Yeah, because at the Gooner podcast, we're way more professional than this.
No, because when the police are watching this, we don't want them to know where we're normally podcasting. You got to stop with that, dude. Come on, man. If I taught you anything. No, I mean, I just think there's a confluence of issues. There's so many different things that it could be, and none of them are going to be made public. So you're either going to say, oh, I heard he won Boy of the Year or something like that in France. Like, I hate that they call it that. They won some award for being a very good young player in France. He presumably played very well for Nice, just like he did for Saint Etienne. And no one will know why he's not good enough to play for Arsenal until he plays for Arsenal and screws up.
I heard he was very close to making team of the season. But
I don't follow Nice unless they're playing Brest, because the Nice-Brest derby is one of the best games ever to watch on television. And they put that score up on the left, and it's
I watched a little bit of Saliba. I watched him a little bit at Nice. He was great. He was great for that league. He did really good things. He was their player of the season. I think. So the fact
he's better than Balotelli. I don't know where Balotelli plays anymore.
Oh, we talked about this. We
talked about this last week. He's in
second
Turkey
tier
now.
Syria B. No, second.
He's playing in Syria.
AC Monza.
He signed. I saw it literally like the day or two after the show last week. That he signed with a club in Turkey.
He doesn't play for Inter Monza.
Speaking of Turkey, I heard David Luiz,
Inter Monza,
our best defender, is going to Turkey. Inter Monza.
Really?
We do have an Inter Yernan. Where is he? Where is he at?
Where's Inter Yernan?
Where's Inter Yernan? Get a weigh on this. Come on.
Oh my God. We're so far off topic here. This is great.
But anyway, so the thing I'll say quick, and I'm going to probably repeat myself, but the thing about Saliba is he beasted it in the French league. He did wonders. He was their player of the season. So the fact that he's going back, to me, is just our way of saying, okay, he killed that league. Let's put him back there and let him kill that league again and raise his funds even more and sell him.
And God forbid he grows up in the next 12 months, and God forbid Arteta is gone in the next 12 months. And the God forbid part of that is because obviously it's going to mean that we're in the shitter again. But if those two things happen, I mean, there could be a way back for him. So you know, I know we're going to go to F, marry, kill, or sell, loan, whatever. But
we can play around to that. I'm always down for F, marry, kill.
At this F, marry, kill, cancel is more like what that game is called at this point. But it wouldn't be the end of the world to loan him out again this year. I kind of want a resolution, just like I did with Ozil and other players, because we just this discussion, this narrative needs to end. But with a player that talented, who we still have under contract, it's not like loan him out for one more year and then we're going to lose him on a free. We've got him on contract, so give it one more year.
Here's the thing.
Yeah. See what happens.
I agree with
next summer, a decision has to be made. You can't send him out again after that.
I agree with you.
He's no Emi Martinez. You can't send him out on loan for 12 straight years.
Fuck out of here. No, but I agree with you. I think he doesn't need loaned out. My point is he should not be loaned out to a league he already, I don't want to say dominated, but a league he was great in. He needs to be loaned to a Premier League. Exactly. He needed to be loaned out to a Premier League.
Championship. I would have rather him. I would have rather him been playing with Cardiff City than with Nice or where's he going now? Marseille. Well, Marseille is pretty competitive, but it's still the same league.
The one thing I'll give Marseille and him going there is Marseille is very rough. I said this last week with
he'll grow up or he'll get
Nasri, Ribery. They've had their players with rough edges. So if he doesn't progress there, or if he just stays the course and does what he does, then he's not for us.
He's never coming back to Arsenal if he's on a team with Guendouzi for a season. That's for sure.
Gwendo could really help him grow up too. So I think,
and it's funny. I didn't even know they were. I didn't even know they were really good friends. So like knowing that,
they're very good. They're good friends because the enemy of my friend, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah. I think that's why they're good friends. Also, they both love to masturbate together.
Is the Saliba?
Was he in the video? I thought I saw his curly hair.
Yeah. Is this simply a matter
of? You can barely see him if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is the same old Arsenal.
This is the same old, yeah.
This is
joined by the Gooners pod.
Hi, Craig. How you doing? Giraffe dick.
Oh my god.
Is this a situation where you boil it down to he's not an Arteta guy. Arteta just doesn't value him. But if you tried to sell him,
I think it's more than that.
Hang on. Let me. Is it? You try to sell him this year. The club is afraid of taking a loss or too steep of a loss on him, so loan him out for another year. So he plays this year at Marseille. They should be relatively competitive. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but they should be relatively competitive, and hopefully that boosts his sell-on value, and we look to move him on next summer. Because
is it easy to sell players that you've loaned out 3 years in a row for £30 million though? Like no matter how they perform at their loan club.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
So how often does that happen? Two things. He's still considered a very highly regarded in France. B. Next season would be substantially better because we're seeing it with this current transfer window where like teams outside of England are just poor and broke right now. There's not a whole lot of money so if the club is planning on selling him, this summer is not the summer. Now, regards to the whole does that rate him does not rate him, I don't know. I think it's I don't think he's been around enough for that. I just think that I look at it like this. I said this last week when I was on this podcast was Arteta's job is on the line, essentially, right? He's going into this season with questions being asked of him. And if he gets an opportunity to if the club is saying you have funds available, what do you want? And he sees Ben White as an upgrade. I think if I'm the one, my job is on the line, I'm taking the upgrade, for one thing. Two, on the whole loaning back to France thing, I don't necessarily look at it like it was a horrible thing. I mean, I don't think it was I get your point, Ryan, about playing in England and seeing what he could do in the league, but at the same time, he needs to learn
the language. I don't think he knows. I think he still only speaks French.
Okay, so he knows
the language of love, and we know
knows the language of love on a podcast that is
jacking off.
Yeah, on a podcast that is.
I thought you had to be talking.
I was trying to be a little more discreet.
I didn't realize Mike would stop talking. I thought you'd go swiftly under the carpet. Didn't work out that way.
I believe it was Arse. I want to say it was Arsecast today that I was listening to, and it's a really small, not too known podcast. So if you guys have a chance, chat Arse blog, Arsecast, something like that. It's a smaller pod. I'm sure you guys will find it. Wink, wink. I'm just joking. They said that Saliba had played a total of 38 games in 3 seasons between the lockdown that happened and then the half season. Because in the half season, I know it's a kind of a popular story of saying, Arsenal butched it, but it was also part Rennes who said we want him, and Saliba waiting for Rennes, and then he just never came back. So it was a little crappy on Rennes' behalf as well to leave them hanging and thinking they were going to come back. So I don't know. I think it was one big clusterfuck. And I know one last thing I'm going to say about Saliba is I know this might be a little bit more unpopular because I know that people say he's been loaned out 3 years. I saw that first year like a wash because we don't know if that loan might have helped us seal the deal.
Somebody else that one. I don't think anyone questions loaning him back for that season.
Well, and I also
kind of
think
the only way we got him.
I think it was a stipulation from Saint Etienne that we had to loan him back.
That's what I figured. And then the last
even go through.
It was like setting a reservation well in advance for the guy because we knew he was going to be great.
And the last tinfoil hat speculation, as my good friend Sebby likes to say, is: do you guys think there's any crazy appearance thing in his contract that may never see it? Now, Mikey, I remember the podcast that you read. I remember the podcast that you did, but in your opinion, Mike, okay, let's say the threshold is 20 games, right? Do you believe that Arsenal is in a situation where they're kind of like, we don't know what Raul did, is all I'm saying, because we
don't know what Raul. I mean, we
do and we don't, right?
Well, yeah, some of us know when we have fur, but like. No, the appearance thing, if it's 20, then we got 20 more games for him to play before we didn't have to worry about that. The Pablo Mari thing with the whole 10 appearance thing, he got hurt after the 9th. So at least it was like there was a smoking gun there that you could even like say, okay, that was a thing. I am sure that part of the reason that Ozil got frozen out when he did is because there was a significant appearance bonus in that contract to where it made millions and millions of pounds of difference that he just didn't play instead of playing here, playing there, playing when he wanted to, but with a guy like Saliba, the contract, the wages are already low. The appearance fee, if there is one, the appearance bonus and the threshold, if there is one, isn't going to be an earth-changing thing. And you don't buy a player of that age with that potential and then not play them because of that. So, I hear where you're coming from, and with some players that might be a concern, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. I mean, I honestly think it's a confluence of things that you would almost never know about because I think 80% of it's off pitch. And the 20% of it that's on pitch wasn't in the games that we were watching. What was that game? Who were we playing in that game? MK Dons. He looked pretty good in that game. But that's the only time we saw him until he went on loan again. So, Saliba at this point.
I watched him for the U23s, and he was all right. He looked a little bit raw still. He decision making was okay. His ball handling skills. I mean,
he's 20? He's 20 now, right?
I think he could be in line for Stu McFarland's job when Stu's ready to hang it up, though. So maybe that's a reason to keep him around. I love Stu, and I hope he doesn't hang it up. But if he does, we have a videographer that's just waiting to go.
I think Arteta and the club see something.
He's 20, Tanner.
Thank you.
He's 20. Okay.
Because he's 20 until he's 21.
The way he plays is perfect for Arteta. So I think he sees something that we don't see, or that I think what we're talking about. I think he's just too soft, and I think he looks for the easy way. He looks for the easy way out, and exactly. And I agree with that. But also, to be fair, before we signed him, I knew a little bit about him because I have relatives that have watched the French league. They're very, very well invested, and they talked about him, and I didn't know who he was until they brought him up to me. So he was someone who definitely could have improved the defense, but if he's not gonna harden up, and that's the thing of the Premier League. It's the one thing that I think kind of puts us over the edge of the other leagues. Is we're just no softies. It's just not gonna happen unless you're Harry Kane diving.
You can't fake it. You can't flatter to deceive in the Premier League for too long before you get found out. I love what Sam just said because, I mean, and it's always the case. It's not an original situation. It's the Pepe situation. It's the Rob Holding situation. It's the everything. I mean, when we were almost
the Elneny situation, but reverse.
When we were almost certain to sign him, and he was in the United States on tour with Saint Etienne, and he was. I mean, the teams were in the same location. Like I remember this when we were in Denver. And we were being rumored with signing him, and he was on the sideline saying, like, people were like showing him Arsenal hats and stuff, and he was playing all coy. If he had been another Martinelli, I mean, at that point in time, Martinelli had just been signed for $8 million or something like that. We were all, who is this guy? And then he scores in Denver, and we're like, wow, okay, this guy looks good, but who the hell is he? Maybe we'll see him in a couple of years. If Saliba had been a £7 or $8 million player in the style of Martinelli or Guendouzi when we signed him, or Rob Holding when we signed him, and I could name some failures as well. The guy, who was it that we signed? Cohen, Bramall. I mean, like those. If he had been one of those signings, then no. I mean, Mavropanos for all that that matter. If he'd been one of those people, then it wouldn't be such a big thing. It's just that we thought we saw a future world-class defender. And rather than let him grow into that, I mean, how many times have we let a guy like Eden Hazard from Lille go from being a £20 million player that we've been tracking for a few years into being a £36 million back in the day signing that we were just priced out of? How many times have we done that? And that's what I liked about the Saliba thing is we said, you know what? We think this guy's going to be, we're talking about Upamecano, we're talking about all these guys. Saliba has the chance to be a world beater, and we can get him for £26 million. And like Stan says, it's probably we could probably net £4 million after Raul takes his $22 million pound kickback. But
this is exactly.
I like the move, but it's not going to work out. It's just not. It doesn't have to be the end of the world and a beating stick to hit Arteta over the head with, just because we don't know why it's not working out.
I mean, only he knows why it's not working. But in all honesty, Stan. Great, because I'm thinking this thing like get out of my head, dude. This is exactly where I'm at with it. That
was the height of his shithousery was when Saliba was signed, when Cedric was signed, and when Pepe was signed.
Anyone here think that Pepe is worth £72 million? Was Pepe worth? He wasn't worth it when we bought him. He's not worth it now.
And all the clubs said we weren't even going to come anywhere close to. Like, who was the club? Napoli that we were like fighting over.
Napoli, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, as a load of money that they have, they're like too expensive for us. We'll pass.
So someone was like we were done at 54 million, and they went to 72. And I mean, look, there's a reason. There's a reason the gerbil exists. Let's just put it that way. And we're past those days.
Are we?
I was just gonna say,
why? Because of Ben White.
Are we? Are we really past those days? The gerbil is not.
We're past the Raul days. We might have another person to be talking about a year from now.
The gerbil is not dead. The gerbil is not dead. So please,
gerbils never die. Gerbils never die.
Let it run around in your ass a little
gerbil,
bit more.
by the way, and I don't want to, I don't want to enrage people by, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows the gerbil, and you're starting to see some news reports right now about the one thing that the gerbil was told that he was a fraud about. And that is Gabriel's niece. So just remember, I not his niece and not his nephew, his knees. So just remember, I have no vested interest in this whatsoever. So, but just remember that the gerbil did say that one of the delays in signing Gabriel was because he had some pre-existing knee issues with regards to tendonitis, and they had to make sure that they were okay with the risk, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And you can just you can follow or not follow the gerbil at Jerby Football on Twitter, and you can abuse or not. You can racially abuse the gerbil if you want as a rodent, and I don't care because I don't know the guy.
No, you know the guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a gerbil.
Right.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy whose uncle's cousin works at 32 Flavors, who read the article in The Athletic about the gerbil. I don't even know the gerbil as well as you just said. It was that level of relationship. So
fair. So we really spiraled way off the match today, and that's fine because again, it's a preseason match.
We were talking about the match. I forgot about that.
Saliba didn't start.
Saliba did not start. Okay. He didn't.
The goal was offside that they scored. The other goal was obviously an individual error.
Our goal was fucking awesome.
Our goal was fantastic.
The Smith. Oh God,
hang on. Wait, I gotta bring something up here real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 8 too. I
hope it's 8, but I think it's going to be 10.
They got to
hang on. Let me ask a question. All right. So Ryan, I'm going to ask the question because of what you just said. So you think it's going to be 10. You hope it's 8. So I hope it's 8, but I hope it's 8 for a different reason.
I was going to say I think they're withholding his number because I think that they want to give number 10 to a big sign that we're going to make that we haven't made yet, obviously. So I think they're kind of hinging, their heads.
Was he at one point a president of the United States?
Well, he was.
Are we signing Ronald Reagan?
But
I thought it was James B. Arthur.
I just gave an orgasm to Tanner right now.
Don't.
Ronald Reagan.
Pay no attention. The actor.
All I care about is what number Locatelli's going to get. Okay.
Well, 5's available as far as I'm concerned. Partey can wait.
No,
5's not available.
Partey took him.
I know, but he can take 18 back if he wants.
Yeah, but the former president does have an extra D in his name.
Well, you have an extra D as well. Yeah.
Whoa. Well, you might want to get that looked at there, Magic Mike.
Boys.
I know they call you Magic, but boy, oh boy, that's probably a little bit of a problem.
This is what
the priapisms that you're experiencing are definitely not healthy.
Did we not just talk about this in our chat today, Mike? Yeah. If you have that issue, it's called congratulations. It's not priapism. It's way to go.
All right. So is all right.
Talk about your extra D.
If it comes out number 8, is Madison the guy then?
No.
No, well, let me ask this: because the rumors are out there that they are going to present Madison with the opportunity, and apparently something I read, and I don't know how it's how reliable is it? How reliable is anything that we read? But I read an article where Madison was apparently a big admirer of Dennis Bergkamp. He wants to wear the number 10 at Arsenal. They know this; they're withholding the number 10. In the hopes of luring him in to be able to wear his idol's number. I don't know if there's any truth to that, or this could be completely fabricated. I don't know. I've never spoken with James Madison in my life, the live version or the dead former president version.
He's incredible in Hamilton, though. He's really, really good.
Okay, fair. You know what? I'm going to break out the Ouija board. Maybe I can get some insight from former President Madison.
Some Virginian insight.
Right?
They
Yeah,
gotta be related.
I'm over here trying to highlight chats like I have control of this show, Tanner. But just wanted to say, Jared. I know. I just wanted to point out, Jared. I know. I'm like, it's not.
I want this work.
Jared Carver, who is a wonderful human being. Wonderful human being. He did point out that Clark wore number 35 today.
All right. So I heard something on this too.
Martinelli's going to be 11.
All the rodents, Tanner.
The only thing I heard was that Martinelli is away, and I don't know how this works. Martinelli being away at the Olympics somehow or other frees up the number 35 because he's not, I guess, technically a part of the squad right now.
I thought he was out now.
Come on.
Martinelli was coming back, by the way.
Right, but I saw this because
we're going to loan him to Marseille.
Oh boy. I don't know.
We should loan Kolasinac to Marseille. We should loan Bellerin to Marseille.
Can we just loan Kolasinac to the co-op or something? Mike, you'll get that. I hope you get that. Magic Mike, the co-op? No, nothing. Tesco.
That's a little. It was a little over there.
It's a reach. Point being, I don't care who we loan him to. Just get him.
I was waiting for a reach around, not
why don't we just sell him? Why the loan him?
Hello. Because to sell him, you got to have somebody that wants to buy, right?
Yeah, that's usually our problem.
Most of the players in the squad, nobody wants to buy. That's the problem. We've either destroyed their value.
Yeah, I tried to sell this the other day, and there's a reason I still have it.
Wait. What?
I'm kidding. This is for Dickie Bow Thursday, the next time we have Super Kev on. I was just picking something up off my
Not going to lie, I thought it was a dog collar for a minute. I'm like, I'll let my dog
Dickie
wear it.
Bow.
All right, I got
Madison, I'll say, Tanner, that I see a lot of
this on track.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the show on track over here. Professional gentlemen, please come on.
Thank you.
The Madison thing.
Thank God somebody's professional here tonight because I'm certainly not.
I try. I mean, you know what it is Jared makes me a better person when he's in the chat, so I feel the need to be professional for the man and all. That and Luchador, of course. I mean, I'm a big admirer of his career. My only thing with Madison is I understand that the club, or not the club, the fans have money.
Sebby's in the chat. He's not happy.
Sebby! I heard that little French for Sebby. I know a lot of fans have almost trauma of how Arsenal has spent money. But please focus a little bit on the type of players that they've been linked with. And they're all 21, 20, 23. They're all really good profiles. So the club has changed their method in recruitment. The fact that we haven't been linked with 32-year-olds or, on a late type of, 2-year deal like the Willem thing, I think is really encouraging. So I only bring this up because if we're looking at what we're valuing Ben White as, if we're looking at what we paid for Lakonga, and if the claim is 60-70 for Madison, he's a quality player that is already way more than proven in the league.
He's a sure thing.
So guys,
mix in the sure things with
and I'm gonna make a big jump, but just hear me out. This is I kind of view this with as crappy our attack could be in a lot of manners. This is our Van Dijk moment, if you will. I believe that a player like Madison will help us jump a notch in quality. So I don't understand the hesitancy. I understand that people look at it if we buy Madison, what about this? I'm 100% convinced, and I said this in the past. I know that there's a lot of lack of faith, I'm going to say, in doing that, and that's, you're entitled to not trust in them. There is zero, and I mean zero, possibility, in my opinion, that they are not aware that they need a center midfielder. There's just no way. So I don't look at it like if we're linked with Madison, it immediately means no more center midfielder. I just don't believe that. So
you don't think that the backup plan for Madison is Ainsley Maitland-Niles?
no, I'm gonna say I don't think Mainsley gonna partner up against Partey. Yeah, I don't think Mainsley's gonna partner up against Partey. You know, so I'm just praying that Juve is really as broke as people are saying they can't afford Locatelli, but that is a dream of mine.
I was thinking about this earlier today though, because there's so many different elements to this. Like, do you want to just get talent, even if we're not their first choice, but we're best choice for now? If we sign Locatelli, like, great talent, not a ridiculous fee, but the guy, all he wants is to play for Juventus. So, going in, if you sign him, that he looks at us as a stepping stone. Now, that's not a bad thing, because
you can because you can use it to your advantage.
It's not automatically a bad thing. Like how many people go to Borussia Dortmund knowing that their eventual goal is to play at Madrid, PSG, or Barcelona, and the club wins and the player wins. And I'm not saying I want to just constantly be funneling players through, but we're on the opposite side of the scale from that. We're bringing players through that lose all their value, and then we pay them to leave. So we got a long way to go to repair that. Would you want to have a guy like Locatelli where his goal and his desire is to play in Italy for the biggest team in Italy at the moment? Would you take that chance on him? I probably would, but you just have
100%.
You have to recognize that we're probably, we're not going to be holding on to him forever.
What's the rumored fee for Locatelli? 30 million. Sorry, Ryan. Jump in as soon as we finish it. What, 30 million for Locatelli? Is that the rumor, Mikey?
I thought it was 40, right?
I saw 30, and look, I'll tell you. I mean, if his
I saw 40, and then I saw that Liverpool were possibly going to get him for 30, which is just that's just media bullshit.
But then again, Liverpool can offer something we can't, so that also means something. But
chicks with really crazy accents,
yeah, right. Where they call everybody love. If Locatelli wants to go to Juventus, and he's not going to get there this year, comes to Arsenal.
Gets loaned out for
gets loaned out for 3 years, and he comes to Arsenal, increase his value a little bit, and then Arsenal hold the cards to say 80 million.
Do you know what the top sale that we've ever? Do you know what the top sale we've ever?
You
made?
Really just took your shirt off, like you totally just changed shirts. You went on camera to change shirts.
Well, the combination was the problem. I was too hot with the white shirt on under this one, and this is the one I really wanted to wear. The white one's stupid. So I picked my spot, and I finally did it. And now Mike is going to go change.
Now Mike is going to change his shirt off.
I want that. I want his video to come back.
Ryan, just do it. Just take the shirt.
I will pay you, Mike, $50. I will donate it to Gooners versus Cancer if that camera angle comes back on and you are not wearing a shirt.
Hang on, real quick.
No, hang on. It's starting to cool down, and my fan is hitting me, and I started freezing my ass off, so I went to turn it off.
I'll take $30. Oh, sorry.
Totally.
You don't get anything.
Mike, do me a favor. Right now, while you just mentioned it, please shout out Gooners versus Cancer. Tell everybody where they can go to be able to donate the FIFA tournament and everything that you got going on.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. The support is amazing. I'm starting to make videos. I mean, one of the greatest things yesterday that really pulled me out of my Euro and Saka and social media induced funk was just a really nice gesture that was made. A donation of a Euro 2020 pool from the real Giannis, who I know is in the chat frequently in this pod. I haven't seen him tonight.
Yes, he is. I haven't seen him yet tonight.
Dude is up until all hours of the morning watching you guys. And he won 120 quid for Italy winning the World Cup, or the for them winning the Qatar World Cup. But he's getting an advance because they won the Euro, and he donated the entire thing to Gooners versus Cancer. So Gooners versus Cancer is a charity for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Which is a cause that I started supporting because my dad passed away 11 years ago of leukemia, and so many people are affected by it. It's just ridiculous. I get messages all the time, and it's just we got to cure this thing. We've got to provide support to people who are suffering from it. And so Gooners versus Cancer is a way of contributing directly to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and getting something back for it. And what you get back for it can be the opportunity to win prizes. There's someone in the chat right now who can tell you firsthand that that a donation that he made with absolutely no expectations of anything in return resulted in a team signed kit for him, and that's your very own Gary. Don't waste the tweet. Won a team signed jersey for our early bird raffle in May, and so the action item right now is to, if you're a gamer, if you're a FIFA 21, FIFA whatever it is, you can tell I'm not a gamer. My son is, but if you have PlayStation or what's the other thing? Xbox. Go to check out our Twitter. As much as you hate social media, go to our Twitter at Gooners v Cancer. If you go to our website, it's Gooners versus Cancer the American way or Gooners v Cancer the English way. Both will take you to our website, but the Twitter handle is Gooners v Cancer, and there's announcements on how to join both of the tournaments. The FIFA tournaments are a fun time. Thank you. People met and joined chat groups and scheduled their games and played their games and rooted on other teams to make it to the finals last year. I would venture to say probably 80 people, most of whom had never met each other before in their life, are still chatting on chat groups because of the FIFA tournament from last year. So it's not only an opportunity to give to charity, not only an opportunity to get some games in a competitive environment that we run, but meet people and other Gooners around the country and around the world, really. So my son did win, and he donated all of his winnings to Gooners versus Cancer because he's a 17-year-old stud at FIFA. But yeah, check us out, and thank you as always for your support. We'll be in Orlando if you're in America and you're going to be in Orlando for the team's visit. And God, it's just 2 weeks now. Less than 2 weeks. We'll be there raising money at all the bar events. We'll be in Vegas for Football Fest, which I think we ought to probably make a mention of in a little bit as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Football Fest 2021.com/watch Mike and Tanner finally meet each other and go ridiculously nuts. .com.
I mean, if you've ever heard whales in the ocean, that's about what this is going to be.
I'm getting a blowhole installed, so all the beer will come flying out when we hug.
All right. Well, that's not exactly what I had envisioned when you said blowhole.
Well, things just got weird. Okay.
So look, I've just given away all the charitable. Yeah, I've turned it into something very, very uncomfortable. But the point is that there's all kinds of opportunities to give, and when you do, you'll get something in return. So if you go to goonersvcancer.com right now and donate, you'll be contacted about getting raffle tickets for the Gooner raffle that we have later this summer. And just to give you an idea, last year we had team signed jerseys. We had even a Mesut Ozil signed jersey for people that were still interested in him. We had a women's first team signed kit. We had the Arsene Wenger book that had just come out, signed by him personally. We have jerseys that are, I mean, we've got some great friends that support our charity who played for Arsenal and are incredibly generous with their efforts every year. I mean, I reach out to these guys. These are heroes of mine. Alan Smith, Lee Dixon, Kevin Campbell, Perry Groves. I mean, these are guys I grew up watching play football, and they're like, Mike, any way we can help, we will. And it's amazing because, we've got stuff like a drawing in Orlando and Vegas where you can win your choice of players personally signing their shirts to you, and they'll sign whatever you say to sign. One of the guys that won it last year had Alan Smith sign something about, I'll never forget our secret rendezvous in Mexico City or something like that. I forget what it was, but so he's got a shirt of Alan Smith signed on his wall now that says that, and then has his signature on it. So I don't know that he could ever sell that to anyone else, but it was a nice thing. So go to Gooners versus Cancer. It's meant to be fun and to do good stuff, and it's probably the one thing in my life that I do that isn't just about self-gratification.
No, I mean, the fact is, the best part of this is, look, This is the one thing in the world that we can't seem to get rid of is cancer.
Sorry, Richard Francis. Yeah, sorry, Richard Francis. I tend to go on a long time.
That's
this is a cause that's important to me.
So. Sure, it's important to everybody. Someone, I guarantee you, in your life, whether you talk to them every day, whether they're a distant relative, someone in all of our lives, I'm sure, has been unfortunately afflicted with this awful disease. And Gooners versus Cancer it's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. Everything that Mike just said. You have your heroes, legends of this club who are volunteering their efforts.
And the club themselves. I mean, people inside the club are annually just as supportive as they could possibly be. And the only person that we are still praying for some feedback from that could possibly help us put us over the edge is the Arsenal Luchador. We need some materials and or experiences from the Arsenal Luchador.
You guys know anyone who knows them? I think my cousin Pepe Hernandez might know him. I'll ask him to reach out, Mike.
Charity match in Tijuana. The Arsenal Luchador against Gunnersaurus. Charity match. All the proceeds.
Arsenal Luchador against the Gerbil in a cage match for Gooners versus Cancer.
How big is the cage, though? Is the cage
that's not
size?
That's not his problem.
True, it isn't.
That's not my. I mean, that's not his problem.
Arsenal Luchador, you could do a lot of good here by just promoting all of this. We would all be thrilled if you could do that. And
one more thing, and I'm
yes,
sorry,
please. No, please.
I'm just going to keep calling out Richard Francis, but no. This year has been last year it began. This year it has blown up, and what I mean by it is people asking me how they can be part of this and help, not just donating things, but putting their time and effort into things. Last year, Mikey, you were one of a couple of people, Owen as well, who took it upon themselves to find an interest, a different way of contributing to the entire process, and it helped us raise a lot more money. This year, there have been so many more, and Jared Carver in the chat, you are, just a superstar as far as what you're doing. He's running our Instagram account right now, and much, much more than that. So. It's this that makes it into a much bigger thing. It's for 2 or 3 years I was just kind of doing it myself, and now it's turning into a community thing, and so the future is bright. And thank you for that. And Tony, I'm so sorry to hear about your neighbor. And if this doesn't impact people in multiple ways, then you should consider yourself very lucky. So yeah, it's. Hadn't meant to go into a 44-minute diatribe about it, but thank you for giving me the opportunity, because the more word that gets out there, the better. Follow
it's a tremendous cause.
Spread the word forward. Just send it out and come play FIFA, because we really need to fill up that time. Yeah. People are taking their time getting in. Do you play, Ryan?
It's funny. I used to play with my friends and I would get my ass kicked. So that's why special shout out.
It's fun.
Shout out to Greg Ramjohn, who's with us every week. One of my good friends who is
Chubby for the kids.
Chubby for the kids.
There is a prize, by the way. You do win the first prize, and
he will definitely enter the tournament.
We happen to know personally the two voices of FIFA. I mean, we've had them on the podcast, Derek Ray and Lee Dixon. Yeah. I can't promise anything, but I'm pretty sure from at least one of the two, I'll have buy-in for a couple of kind of personalized videos when the tournament gets into its latter stages. And if you just watch Derek in the U.S. on the Euro 2020 coverage, you might want him to do the intro for your semifinal matchup in the
Derek Ray's great. Derek Ray is tremendous.
We're going to give him all the toughest. We're going to give him Bruno Fernandes. We're going to give him Nuno Tavares, I believe, is someone that we just learned about. Did
you say Vag?
I did. That's apparently how his name is pronounced, Nuno Tavares. And so he's becoming my favorite player.
Of course.
He's just going to have a picture. The question mark, he's going to have something else on this jersey. Yes, Darren, man, you got to play in this, man. You can win this thing, Darren. I know. I mean, your entire your handle, your FIFA boy. Come on, so you got to get into this thing. Xbox and PlayStation. We have one. So reach out to me. You know how to reach me directly, my friend.
Listen, and everybody in the chat.
I could get him to do something too, but that would probably devalue the tournament. So.
We need to get as many people as we can because we got to overthrow. We got to get Mike's son off the championship throne.
That's true. Yeah, we got
to dethrone him.
Like the only reason I'm not playing is because I don't want to be embarrassed by your kid.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Well, are you Xbox or PS5? Or
PS4. PS4.
Okay, well, then you don't have to worry about it because my son's an Xbox kid. So
thank God for that. So I'm in.
If you're on PlayStation, then you have a chance to get there. Yeah, you don't have to play my kid. My kid had a purple patch last season.
There you were just waiting to get that in there, weren't you?
I almost forgot about that. But no, last year in the tournament, he hit a purple patch. And so I don't know that he can repeat this year, but it's going to be awfully fun seeing and seeing how it goes. And Leo Messo is now I'm clicking on Renat's thing and it's not working. but yeah. he just packed Leo Messo.
Oh my God,
Gary! Thank you. Thank you
That's
fantastic.
Yeah, just to echo what Mike said, please. All of the information, most of you guys, if not all of you, in the chat watching, you're on Twitter, you follow all of us. It's at Gooners v Cancer. Go there. All of the information that you need is there. Click on the links. Do what you need to do. No amount donated is too small.
That's correct.
That is the biggest thing. Most people don't donate to charities for one reason. They think their donation won't make a difference. The donation makes a difference. If it's £1, $1, 50 cents, 50 pence, 50, half of whatever $1 is in your currency, every donation matters. Nothing is too small. Please, please, please go give to Gooners versus Cancer. It is a
Mike, can we please get a peso?
One bloody peso from you, Mike Hernandez, please. What is the currency of Guatemala? In Western Mexico, Guatemala in Western Mexico, what is the currency?
The Juanita.
Why are you so angry? Why are you yelling at him?
It's called a quetzal.
It's called an Arteta.
Arteta.
If you find yourself in Guatemala in Western Mexico, donate one. That's all it is. Donate one.
One quetzal, which equates to its eighth of a dollar. But we will take it.
When I get the downloads and stuff, I love seeing the quantity. I mean, the amount of money we raise is great, and it's been fantastic. It was over $23,000 last year, but the number of people who have helped this cause, whether it's $1, $5, a pound, 5 pounds, and in some cases way more than that, which is just overwhelming when I see that. But the locations that it comes from, the different countries, the different continents, and just the breadth of it, and that's just what's so encouraging about it. So,
not for
my God, we've talked about this for way too long.
Real quick, just if you'll humor me for a moment, to circle back to what we started the show with, and the atrocities that are social media. This is one of the great things about social media.
It's why I can't quit that stuff.
Right, because there is good that comes from this, and this is one of those good things that comes from social media. So it's not.
Do you know probably 30% of our funds were raised last year, of the $23,000 was. Mike knows where I'm going with this, right?
It's Gary's comment is killing me. I'm sorry.
Probably 20 to 30% of the money we raised last year to fight leukemia and lymphoma came from people donating because they followed a particular Twitter handle that became Gooners versus Cancer, but started as the Arsenal gerbil. Or the football gerbil, and as much shit as the person who runs that account got for doing that, and it wasn't intentional, a lot of good was done from that. So look, like you said, social media is a weird thing.
It is.
Figure out a way of using it for the common good, but ignore it when it's not being used for the common good. But yeah, it was a weird year last year, and I'm hoping to actually do it legit this season. So
yeah. Anyway, so no good segue for this. Go donate, please. Just go donate. At the end of the day, just go donate. Moving on to a segment that I know Ryan is just itching. Like he has a rash on his balls itching to get into this.
Not really, but okay.
I mean, that's not what you told me. I sent you that cream. Did it help, by the way?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, fantastic. So you're not itching for it anymore.
You're allowed to mail that to people? Most creams are not okay to mail, but
it wasn't mail. It wasn't mail.
it was hand delivered.
It was hand. It sure. It sure was.
I bet Saliba could have definitely used that.
Oh, it sure was hand delivered there, Magic Mike. Believe me. Anyway, so we're going to do a little segment here that Ryan and I have been talking about for a few weeks, and it is called Keep, Sell, Loan. Kind of like Marry, F, Kill.
Ooh.
That's not a name. It's not like Mary. I should say F. Mary. It doesn't work that way either. Kill, Mary, F. That's the only way it works.
Who's Mary? Why are you killing her? No, it's
I
F.
know.
Mary
Yeah,
Kill.
right. Yeah,
She's very nice.
Very nice lady.
Very nice lady.
Very nice lady. I will
Best
take
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the East Coast.
And never call her again. So we're going to do Keep, Sell, Loan with goalkeepers and defenders tonight. Real simple. Do you keep them? Do you loan them? Do you sell them? Start with the goalkeepers. And Ryan, I'm going to start with you. And we're going to start with the number one, Bernd Leno.
I mean, I don't think I need to go into this any more than just keep. Next. Keep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple, yeah.
Magic Mike, keep, sell, loan, Bernd Leno.
If contingency, I'm going to throw this out there. If we manage to sign Onana, who I've heard nothing but good things, I am willing to risk going with like a backup.
Mike.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to sell Leno.
Well, hang on.
I'm going
Hang
to
on.
go with the.
Mike, I'm throwing a monkey wrench into your thought here because Onana is rumored to be completing a deal to a French club. Is it Lyon?
Yeah.
So
loan him to Marseille. Loan him to
Marseille.
They're definitely selling him then. Guendouzi, Saliba.
Keep him then. Okay. Keep him. Fair enough.
Keep Leno.
If all this happens, by what date do you expect Ozil to try to like force his way to Marseille? To like, it'll be like the return of the king. Like he's like, I'm here, boys. Like your master's here.
Wow, so many directions I could go with that, and I'm not going to. Anyway, can't wait to see you in Vegas. Alex Runar's son.
Well, you didn't ask me about Leno, though.
Didn't I? Thought
I did. You said keep.
Yeah, you said keep.
Oh, but I thought I was actually answering. I thought I'd given an answer at a poorly timed situation because you were actually talking to the other Mike. So yeah, I would keep him, but I was actually also going to say I would also upgrade on him, but it doesn't look like we're doing that.
No, the upgrade on Bernd Leno is going to come in 2 years when Arthur Okonkwo really comes into his own.
Yes.
And because Bernd Leno's not going to sign a contract extension here. Number one.
So we're going to lose him on a free too then?
I don't know that we'll lose him on a free, but I think he'll go with 1 year left on his contract, and I think he goes to Bayern Munich. I think they buy him to replace Manuel Neuer, and that's how I think that situation plays out.
And that is why I was thinking about selling him right there, because there's no indication that he wants to sign a contract. He's going in this season with 2 years left, I believe.
Yeah,
and
including this season.
Including
this season, next season, then done.
So next year is when you have to make that decision.
Yeah, right. And that is exactly why I was okay selling him.
What do you think you could get for him? Like, okay, so maybe Munich isn't buying him now because they don't feel the need to. But if you said, okay, we're not getting into a situation next year where we have to make a decision. We're going to sell you this summer, and we're going to bring in. I mean, God forbid it's Ramsdale, but like we're going to bring in another number one in our minds. What do you think we get for him? More or less than Damian? What do you think we get, Ryan? If we turn around and sell him back to Germany this summer, maybe it's one of these Werder Bremen deals where we know in 2 years he's going to be playing for Bayern anyway. But like what do you think we get for him?
I mean, I definitely think we get less than.
You think we get less than 20 at this point for?
I do.
What do we pay for him?
Well,
25?
No,
30?
We didn't
30?
pay that much. We didn't pay that much.
Didn't pay that much.
22 and a half.
22 and okay. So we paid more for Lucas Torreira than we did for Bernd Leno. I thought we paid more.
Yeah,
for
but we
Leno
paid installments.
Of course we did. which we're going to be paying when the four of us are long gone. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
My second installment for the last podcast I did with you just came in.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think unless it's Bayern, I think we're just gonna probably sell for less than what we sold Martinez for.
But what are going rates though for keepers right now? Like what are keepers? I'm not gonna go and say Leno's a top 3 Premier League goalkeeper. In fact, I could also be convinced that he's probably not a top 6 Premier League goalkeeper. But
I think so.
I could be convinced that he was, but I could also be convinced that he's not. But like, what are the rates for bang on starting goalkeepers that you're buying to be your number one guy at his age, which is something like 28, 29? 28 till he's 29?
I mean, something like that.
Don't keepers kind of go for 25 or 30 mil at this point?
He's 28, right? He's 28 right now.
Until
he's 29.
Our best chance is to sell him to Bayern Munich because they will pay the most. And I think
can we sell him this season and then have him loan him back to us for 2 years?
But
that would be, or just even just.
Why does everyone else get to do that and we can't?
We're gonna loan. Yeah, we're gonna loan him for 2 years with the option to buy.
25, 30. I think that's the best you can hope for him.
And I do that because I think buying 50 or 60 million pound keepers, or in the case
there's
of Kepa,
there's only one club in the world that has ever done that, by the way.
Chelsea.
Yep.
And
I don't even know Jan Oblak. I don't think he went to Atletico Madrid for half that.
No, but if he went someplace else, he would go for. He's
100 million pounds right now.
He would be. I mean, if Kepa's 72, then he's 100. I mean, my God, Kepa for 72 or Pepe for 72. I mean, my God.
Jan Oblak is the only 100 million pound Euro goalkeeper in the world.
And maybe Donnarumma, if he hadn't left on a free, would have eventually been that level of.
Get those. I think an offer will come in from somebody for that, but I don't think PSG will sell him because I think he's part of the cog in that wheel.
He'll be there. He'll be their keeper for the next 10 years. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, if they're smart, he will be.
Yeah.
As a Milan fan, talk about watching your ex doing well and doing a Roma, dude.
Oh, you cuck! You're a cuck.
I love the 36 hours where Gattuso was about to go to Spurs. Mikey was like literally shaking. He was like, "This can't happen. I don't want this to happen."
I did it. Everybody wanted it, and I'm like, please, no. I love him. Please don't do that, Gattuso. So
that's, you know what? I said this to Ryan. I think the other day. I feel this way about Nuno going to this. Like, I like him. And now he's going to that. Now he's going to that shitbag club. And now I gotta fucking hate him.
We got the better Nuno. Actually, I'm not convinced of that at all. But
you know what, man? I mean, look, the thing with
our Nuno has a body part in his last name, and the other one doesn't. So
Savage. I just way overpoured my drink. Thank you.
All right, give me the next one first, so that I can go and get another bottle of champagne.
Alex Runerson, I'll make it easy for you.
Pay him to leave. So there's no point in loaning. There's no point in loaning him.
I thought he was already gone to Turkey.
That's close. Hasn't been announced.
Yeah, I thought that was the thing, but yeah, I mean. Easy one.
I think we hit him over the head with a turkey, but I don't think he's actually on his way there. So,
thought you were going to get a drink.
I am.
Okay. Yeah, Ryan, Alex Runarsson, sell him.
I am going to be the lone wolf here. I think we should loan him out. I know Mike says we can't loan him. I think we can. The last time we saw him play for us, I don't think it gets worse than that. I think you got to send him to like Qatar or like Azerbaijan or somewhere or Gibraltar. I think he's got to like put some work in, and you got to be like, okay. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I think we need to loan him for a year, get some value, even if it's like $2 million, like something, and sell his ass. Yeah, because chubby for the kids, man. We got loan him
for the year to try to build his value, and then
I mean, it's not gonna be much, but I think
But is it negligible though? I mean, if you sell him for $2 million, what do we buy him for? 7, 6?
Well, no, I'm not saying sell him for $2 million. I think if we play our cards out, we could probably get a $2 million increase in sales. At least.
Well, let me ask you this: if we loan him, we're probably paying at least half his wages. Now, I'm not saying he's on high wages, but is that difference negligible? You know what I mean?
I just think that for what Runarsson has done for us in this club, we'd have to pay him to leave. And I know, like, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, let's just do it and get him out of here." But I think we can loan him out. I think he could generate us some money to where we're not paying people. People pay us, whether it's $1 million, $2 million. I mean, at this point, I think we'll take it. So
that's a novel idea. Transfers. We're going to make people pay us.
Yeah.
I can't believe we finally figured that out.
So, Arthur Okonkwo and Mikey Hers, I'm going to start with you on this one. Got to start today. He only played the first half. Pretty egregious error, although I don't think he was 100% to blame for it. And I'm done. I don't want to talk you into a decision.
No, look,
Mike, you tell us what you think, but here's what I think, and you're on our podcast, so I just want to remind you that.
Yes,
I agree with Tanner on this one for the 5th pick in a row. And Tanner, please have me back. I agree with you. No,
I didn't even give you my answer. You don't even know what you're agreeing with,
and yet you're a fucking genius, and I agree with you.
You agree with me?
No, look, I've seen almost nothing of Nkonkwo, obviously, but I've seen enough about Runarsson, and I know at the very least, Nkonkwo it was a bad pass. I'm not going to let him off the hook because he did have plenty of time. He just kind of got caught between two minds there. So, but he's very young, and it's almost to be expected. So, but he's the one that allegedly, according to his statement, there was a clear path to the first team. So I don't want to go around having the reputation of being a club that kind of, hey, I'm going to lie to you, say there's a path for you that you're going to get minutes, and haha, I was just bullshitting you. I don't think that's a good image for the other youth that we have. So because of all that, between Runarsson and the promises that were made to him, I'm going to say keep him.
You know how many third choice, I almost said string, but third choice keepers have ended up becoming first choice keepers at Arsenal? Szczesny, Martinez. I don't have any more, but like it happened. Ilyev never quite got there, but I mean, I remember Szczesny. Like Szczesny was like you'll get this, Tanner, but like he was in the same exact situation as Braden Holtby was at one point for the Caps. Like, just he was the guy that was constantly waiting for the two guys in front of him to somehow get injured at the same time, and then he became a great goalie for the hockey team near us. And Szczesny, until he ran into his off the pitch issues, was exactly the same way. He was just constantly behind Almunia and Manone, which is just kind of laughable to think about at this point. And even Lehman when he came back, and then someone new would be brought in to go in front of him. And Martinez, same thing. I mean, Ospina, Czech, there was just no path for him to make it, and yet he still made it. So being the third choice keeper is not an awful thing. Macy got some time with the first team last season. I believe, if not the season before, maybe.
I think it was 2 seasons before.
Yeah, maybe the season before. But so I think if he is what he's supposed to be, and I don't put anything into today's performance. I mean, throw up, miss your cue, get it out of your system, have the support of a solid team around you, and let's see what you got. Do I feel comfortable with him starting against Brentford? No. But so loan him inside England and have some sort of clause that if our first 2 keepers are somehow in dire straits, we can call him back rather than bringing up whoever's playing for the U23s. But yeah, he needs a loan. Speaking of keepers, by the way, one of the things I forgot to mention about Gooners versus Cancer is that we're always giving away stuff from Ruth Beck Art. You know Ruth Tanner on Twitter at Ruth Beck Art. She does all Arsenal related stuff. She does Highbury related stuff, Islington related stuff, and every time we do a giveaway, there's normally a grand prize, which is a signed kit. There's a second prize, which is a new Arsenal kit, and then there's multiple kind of additional prizes, which is stuff from Ruth Beck. If you love your Emmy Martinez, this is a pretty nice one. Dude. I don't want this. I don't want this, but I know that there are tons of people that would love to have that, and then they can beat Arsenal over the head with it. But
you know what? Let me say
where's Lone Star Londoner? Where's Lone Star Londoner? Yeah,
hold that, Mike, hold that up.
He's in Texas.
I just threw it away. Hold that up. You know what? For those of you who might not want that, piss off. And I mean it, because this is why.
I don't want it.
Why?
I actually get. You know what? I'm feeling what you're about to say.
It's a trophy that this club won.
You know what? No. I do want it.
And it's a great story. It's a story of redemption.
In a heartbeat and put it up with the rest of my Arsenal memorabilia.
It's a fucking phenomenal drawing. Problem is, I'll put my face on Emmy Martinez and I'll frame it.
No. If Sam or Nasri had won an FA Cup while he was here. Let's just say that he had, instead of being just a complete douche that didn't win anything. If he had won an FA Cup while he was here, and then he's Samir Nasri, I cannot believe that Stan actually knows. I mean, I can believe that he knows what X-Hamster is. Considering he's the guy that once told me that he completed Pornhub.
Right?
Oh, my God. That's out of nowhere, but yeah.
And that is absolutely. That's hilarious. Laugh. It's so funny. I can't laugh.
And I'm sure Ruth Beck will be thrilled right now that we're interspersing these two things together.
With X Hamster.
We might not clip this and send it out there, but yeah. So if you love Emmy, then they're you can bid on that.
The quality of the work is fantastic. First of all.
100%.
But the fact is he won that trophy with this football club, and
he helped win that trophy.
Well, sure. He
didn't say he won it for them. He said he won it with them.
Yeah,
but that's it. Like, accept it for what it is, and he's not here now, so move on. Like, exactly. I would love to have that up. That's a piece of history. That's our 14th FA Cup.
Well, you know what? You might actually appreciate that picture for the right reasons instead of the wrong ones. So we'll talk afterwards. We'll see what we can do because Ruth has been awesome. She sent me dozens. You can't get them shipped to the United States either. You can get them shipped pretty easily within the UK, but if you live in the US, you cannot get those Ruth Beck paintings shipped.
Oh, that's right.
Unless you win them through Gooners versus Cancer. So.
Yeah. We'll talk. Ryan, Arthur Okonkwo, keep loan sell. Where are you at?
I mean, so I'm gonna partner Okonkwo with our next person, Carl Hein. It depends. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Estonia, baby, come on. You think it was gonna come up more than once? It depends what we do in the market for a goalie. I'm on the fence. I want him to get minutes, but he's also very young. So I kind of want him to just get the Arsenal experience and being in the senior team, training with Leno. Because like we all said, Leno's probably leaving next season. So I'm actually gonna say keep. I think he would be a great third choice. And fuck, if we don't sign a goalkeeper, it's not like we're in any Europe competition anyway. You know, I don't hate it if he's our backup. I really don't. I really just want him to kind of get instilled in Arsenal, get used to the Smith, Saka players that he's going to be playing for years down the road.
We can't loan everybody out. I mean, we have to have someone that plays regularly for the U23s, and I think he's the guy.
I don't think he can. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think.
All right, so let me go around the horn.
Why?
I think when you get called up the seniors, unless you're like coming back from an injury, I don't think he can play. And he's not going to play for the U23s. It's going to be probably Hillison.
Mikey, your answer was what?
Keep
him. Magic Mike, your answer was loan him.
No, my answer. Are we talking about Hine now?
No, we're talking about Okonkwo.
Oh, Okonkwo. My answer is loan him. Yeah,
loan him. Ryan, your answer is
keep.
I'm keeping, and I'm going to take it a step further. He's my second choice goalkeeper, and I'm going to live with it.
I mean, he's got to earn it, but yeah,
I'm going to live with it. I'm
already there. I'm with you
because he's the future. He's the future of the goalkeeper at this football club. He's got the size.
Even Cuoco is the future.
He's got the size. He's got the athleticism. He has all the tools. It's a matter of developing them. And he's the future of the goalkeeper position at this football club. You loan him, and you loan him, and that's great. He goes and he gets the starting minutes. And
I was going to say, like, I still want to keep him, but he needs minutes. He still needs minutes.
Can he be the U23 guy then?
But here's the thing, though. To me, this is one of those he's going to develop like a defender does. Bernd Leno's best years, we're in the thick, or just starting Bernd Leno's best years. Goalkeepers, defenders mature into their positions slower than attackers and attacking midfielders do. I want him around the first team. And I'm doing this to mature him a little more quickly, but I want him playing a few of these early on Carabao Cup games. You know what? I'll tell you right now, if he shows well against Blackpool, against Plymouth, Sutton United, if we go up against Carlisle United from League 2, come on, you Cumbrians.
Scunthorpe, shout out to Mike Scunny.
Scunthorpe United, sure, let's go. Any of these clubs, if we come up against those lower tier clubs, he plays. We get to the Carabao Cup final, get to the Carabao Cup semifinal, but he's played well in those matches. Here's a big game, kid. Go do it.
So are we just giving up on Dejan Iliev then? I mean, is he gone?
We are. I have.
Guy's 26.
I mean, I gave up on myself at 26.
Can we sell him for the money that for like Rion Brewster money?
I'll buy him for a rack of ribs.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, because I said ribs, and you know how I make my ribs. Anyway, no, I keep him, and he's my second choice goalkeeper, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth because on the one hand, I'll say about any player, earn your spot, but I'm going to say about him, the tools are there. Give him that role,
and you're comfortable saying that. I mean, like, look, it was 45 minutes. It was a bad 45 minutes, but it was his first 45 minutes. So sure. I'm not reading too far into that. But
did he look comfortable? No, I'm not.
He's got 4 or 5 games opportunities, most where he won't play the entirety of those games, and then the season starts. So if he's your first choice off of the bench, if Leno gets hurt, gets a red, something like that. Are you comfortable with him being in that position, a la what people have been saying about Saka being put in the position that he was? Do you want to protect him a little bit?
I wouldn't, and
not make him the number 2, right?
I wouldn't start Bernd Leno in any of these preseason matches. He's a goalkeeper, and he's an experienced goalkeeper. Does he need hey, ramp it back up?
I think
he needs to face Inter Milan in Florida.
He needs to face Chelsea. You know what he is? He's the quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he
He's the
plays
franchise
preseason game number
quarterback
3.
in the NFL.
But
Give
is he
him-
Tom Brady?
I mean,
No.
is anybody Tom Brady other than Tom Brady?
Oh God,
No.
no, Mike, no.
God damn it, Mike!
No.
Why?
Hey, Mike, I want to just tell you one thing.
No.
You're going to say the
Tom-
same thing, the death taxes.
Taxes, Tom Brady.
No,
Yeah,
Tom,
blah, 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 blah.
no. I want you guys to know one thing. Tom Brady doesn't have nightmares. Nightmares
Because
have
he's
Tom
got-
Brady. Nightmares
yes,
have Tom Brady.
All right, Mike.
What are you, fucking Chuck Norris? Shut up. Anyways, Mike, Carl Hine, what are we doing here? No, but Magic Mike brought up a really good point. If Leno gets a red card, if he gets hurt, I don't know if I can see him the sole reason why I want to keep him is to get installed in the culture, get used to the teammates, develop a relationship with Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli.
He'll be perfect for the Conference League game. Oh wait, shit.
But hang on, because
He could have played in the Super League.
I don't know how the schedule itself, how the fixture list will play.
I would have fucking started him.
But the random Wednesday match, if it might happen against Watford. Trying to think of the 3 teams that were promoted.
Deeney got promoted?
Fucking against
promoted?
Watford?
Troy Deeney got promoted? Son of a gun.
But here's it, but that's
I think Norwich is back up again.
It's Norwich, Watford, Brentford, yeah.
That's team management. Now, Brentford start of the year, no, absolutely not. That's Bern Leno's match. But fuck, man. Ryan, you and I were talking about, heading over there in April, and we play Brentford at home, I think in March. That Brentford home match is somewhere in where you and I were looking at heading over there. There's a consideration. That's team management. Magic Mike, and Ryan, you'll both back me on this. Hockey wise, your number one goalie doesn't play every game. He just doesn't.
Different game.
I know. No, I get that because
exactly.
you have back to back.
I know you know that. I'm just going to pull that.
You have back to backs. Typically, the number 2 will play one of those 2 back to backs. But team management, you give your number 1 a game off.
It's also very different because our goal is top 4 or Arteta gets sacked. So I don't.
But I think after December, come like January, let's just say the turn of the new year, we should know at that point what kind of a team we are. We should know where we are as a club at that point. Can we take the chance on giving him a game against a team in the lower part of the table? And I would say bottom 5. No. I wouldn't even say like 12th. I would say bottom 5 of the table, and we're comfortable where we are. Maybe we're 3rd, maybe we're 5th or 6th, but we're in the hunt. We give them a game there.
We should not feel comfortable where we are at any point this season.
There's sure. Yep.
Unless we're in first place by fucking 30 points, but that's obviously not going to happen. Yeah. So
it's always the catch-22 with the youth. You want to give them experience, and I want him to get experience. I want him in a big pressure situation because the fact is, what I watched today is not a big pressure situation. And the one thing that I saw from these guys today was, it's preseason, man. Fuck off. I'm going to run because I got to run. I'm going to kick because I got to kick. But it's fucking preseason, man. I don't
didn't
care.
He didn't run. He didn't hit. He didn't kick.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, came in the chat.
He actually messed up all 3 of those within 5 seconds of each other.
Sure did. No.
But came in the chat says it perfectly. Arteta's job is on the line.
Do we try to advance him more quickly than what he probably naturally would?
No.
Or do we bide our time? Because I'll tell you
why. He's so young.
That is not a position where we can afford to have individual mistakes.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
We already have that with Leno.
Hang on, I'll tell you why.
All right, Mark, got you, Flo.
Because the middle ground of that question, do we progress him more quickly than he naturally would, or do we let him progress on his own terms, means we have to buy an interim keeper. Bernd Leno's not going to sign an extension here. He's going back to Germany. We have to sign someone in the interim, but that interim is like 3 years. So now you're at a point where the keeper you're going to bring in for that 3-year stopgap, how much better than Okonkwo is that keeper really going to be, because you don't want to spend 50 million pounds on a keeper that's going to be here for 3 years, and you're saying, dude, you're a stopgap till this kid gets to 26 years old. And I mean, to that point. You know what I mean?
We weren't linked with Awana for any reason. I think Awana is like the perfect solution there.
Onana was the perfect solution.
You know who might have also been a good solution, but there was just the timing didn't work.
Here we go.
Was David Raya.
No, yeah.
I mean,
but
now you can't get him because he's the backstop of a newly promoted Premier League team. But
and they didn't want to spend the 30 million.
Who do you think I was going to say, Ryan?
I was nervous. I don't even know.
Here we go.
Honestly.
All of a sudden, Ryan became Fabrizio Romano. All of a sudden,
I got nervous. I thought you were going to say like Raya. I was thinking maybe Robbie Green, the old England national goalie, but
the guy that conceded the goal to the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like my first thing that popped in my head. Robbie Green making a comeback. But I know it's difficult because I think Awana is like the perfect thing, because I think he can't play with us till November, right? Because AFCON and his suspension. So I think we could still keep Leno, hang him around a little bit, be like, yeah, Leno play the season, we'll sell him. Awana, bet him into the team and get him in there. And then Okonkwo is, I think, a perfect backup for now. But like I said, I don't want to see Okonkwo play any games for us. I mean, maybe a Carabao Cup here and there, but he's just there to make friends, build relationships, get friends. Yeah, I know. He's like that crying kid you drop off in kindergarten where he's like, mommy, like, no, shut the fuck up, listen to the teacher. He's probably one of the dumber kids, but he's gonna like integrate. But I'm just saying he's gonna be one of the kids.
That's the point. Before you're digging a fucking grave.
What does his intelligence have to do with any of that? My God. Ryan, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm looking at the market value of all the Premier League keepers right now. This is just transfer market stuff. Allison 54, Ederson 45, Emmy 27, Mendy 22, Leno 19.8. Dean Henderson, 19.8. He's locked up. Pickford, 19.8. You're not getting him.
I don't want him.
Meslier, who I thought was he was shite against us.
Yeah.
But he's 18 million. God, De Gea is down to 16 million. They should have got rid of him when they could. But my point is that David Raya, 12. Kepa, 11 million.
No, it's too good.
Hugo Lloris. I mean, there are some. You know what I would do, and this will never happen because he's been part of the Manchester setup for years.
Mr. Valdez,
Zach Steffen. Not as your starter, but as that 3-year holdover guy that you're talking about. I mean, you don't want to spend a lot on a guy, so you're going to buy someone that's been a backup keeper for somebody else and isn't 35 years old. There are some people that fit that goal, that fit that thing. And that's just in looking at the Premier League. That's not even looking at England. And
I'm going to bring something up. I read an article on Bleacher Report, and this was like a month ago. And Zach Steffen was one of the subjects of this of the article. And it was basically why Americans don't want to play in the Premier League. There's a stigma about Americans in England when it comes to this sport. And Zach Steffen was rather outspoken about it, according to this Bleacher Report.
I might have picked up on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Zach Steffen does not want to play in England.
Wow.
Does not want to play in England because the Americans playing in England are just – it's like, well, you're American. This isn't your game.
even for goal. I mean, if there's one position in England that is unique, that isn't that way, it's the goalkeeping position.
I was going to say
Tim Howard, Casey Keller.
Look
tell
how they
Hovrath that Hovrath just signed.
No.
Nottingham Forest.
No. I'm telling you, and again, this is a Bleacher Report thing, but they interviewed some players. Zach Steffen was one of them. Christian Pulisic was not.
Was Hovrath one of them? He literally just signed for Nottingham Forest today.
I don't believe so. The name doesn't ring a bell, but I could be wrong. I will find the article and I will link it.
Save the penalty against Mexico. Want us to? God damn.
What I'm saying is this: according to what I read,
who's it against?
Zach Steffen. It is.
What were they throwing on the pitch?
They just simply don't want Americans in their game.
I think that's a paradigm shift that's in the process of happening.
Well,
all props to my UVA, my University of Virginia brethren, John Harkes and the others who I mean, you think Christian Pulisic's, I mean, so many people would think Christian Pulisic's like the first American that ever made it in the Premier League.
Right.
Sorry, no. Harkes, I mean, this was happening since the 1990s. It just wasn't as widespread, and there wasn't the whole Bundesliga connection yet at that point. But I think that paradigm is shifting. I think Pulisic has probably convinced a number of people, and I think maybe even Landon Donovan before him, because he did some very good things for Everton. I think that paradigm is shifting. People are seeing how Americans are playing in Germany. I don't know what this has to do with Dejan Iliev, and like Tony was saying, we spent 45 minutes talking about the buy, sell, keep on keepers, and we haven't even gotten to the defenders yet. But I'm surprised to hear that from Steffen, and if that's coming from Steffen, then that's just on Steffen. I don't think that's the general attitude from Americans. So. Did we lose our fearless leader here?
Fearless leader. So,
all right. So keep, kill, fuck, marry, loan, sell Hector Bellerin, Mikey.
What about Hein? We didn't do Hein.
Well, I have no idea who he is, so I'm going to say sell him.
He's the goalkeeper for Estonia. He's good. I think he's right below Cuckoo in the depth chart.
Again, someone's got to play the U23s.
It's gonna be Hillison and Tom Smith. Those are gonna be the two goalies for the U23s. They're not good. Hillison, I've seen play multiple times for the academy. He's not good. I do not like him. I don't think our U23 team is gonna be any good. Depends who we get. I mean, someone like who am I echoing? Probably because Tanner. Son of a bitch. Someone like a John Jules may carry us in the academy, but as far as goalkeeping, we don't really have good goalkeepers besides Hein and Nkunku. So I think Hein is definitely, if Nkunku stays, Hein's. To me, it's going to be a battle of Hein versus Nkunku. I think the person who performs the worst is going to get loaned out. The other one is going to have the third goalkeeper spot, maybe even backup. I don't think it's going to be backup. I think it's going to be third goalkeeper spot and kind of just ride the wave, get the culture and soak it up, be an Arsenal player. And I honestly think Hein, even though he probably had the better half, I think Hein's going to lose, and I think Hein is going to be loaned out. And he's a goalie that I'm not as high as him with Nkunku, but I think he has a lot of potential. He's a good shot stopper. He can distribute the ball pretty well. My problem is he doesn't how do I want to say this? He doesn't secure the ball well enough for my well-being. But again, he's young too. It's learning curves. So I think he should definitely get loaned out. And
I think you can trust that though, because I saw Matt Macy play when he was with the U21s back when they were still called the U21s. I went there to see Zelalem play, but I ended up seeing Matt Macy and Alex Iwobi, and those were the two that I came away with the strongest opinions on. One was Iwobi was incredible, and the other was that Matt Macy was awful. His distribution, I mean, his shot stopping was good, but his distribution was pathetic. And some things just don't change when you get older. So So trust your instincts. Trust the process.
Oh God,
Jesus.
So that was the hour on goalies, that goaltenders.
So before you guys jump into the defenders, that will take us until approximately.
I would say I think we should wait on defenders and just maybe talk about how if Reese Nelson doesn't get more minutes than William this season, I think I'm gonna blow my gasket because I know, and that's the one thing I wanted to talk.
Is that what the kids are calling it now?
Mikey's trying to
Gasket?
dip out, and you just took it away from him.
You know what? I'm sorry, Mike. Go. 'Cause
Yeah,
I love Reese Nelson. So
William is going to get a contract extension. Trust the process.
stop. Oh,
And
my God.
Massive bumper wave.
Hold on, I'll end it with this, Ryan, before I say goodnight. Once we secure his contract extension, he'll be loaned out to Marseille.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, but I do got to get to bed. So always, Tanner, thank you very much for having me on the show.
Of
Mikey,
course, it's our pleasure.
my pottying brother, thank you so much, dude.
I'm
for
glad we're back
everything.
together again.
Yes, of course.
Reunited
Forza Italia?
and it
No,
was
Forza
so
Italia!
good. Little Peaches and Herb always out. Damn it. And then
He
there
just
were
dropped
three.
that mic all over the place, man.
He sure did.
I'm
tell
having
you
some
what.
fun, and there's 57 strong in the chat. So
I've got
you know,
I've got 67, so you're a little slow there, cowboy.
damn, yo.
The numbers are going up.
Well, your numbers include non-YouTube. I'm just looking at the YouTube, so that's even better.
Yeah. So here's where I'm at with it. I'm having a good time. Are you guys having a good time? You want to keep going, or should we knock off? I think what we're going to do. Go ahead, Ryan.
I know. I agree. I don't know if we should go to defenders tonight because that will be literally all night if we go to defenders. I think.
Well, I
should.
don't know. I don't think we should go through defenders. I think we could keep chatting about Arsenal in general. I don't think we need to go keep, sell, loan.
You guys, how about some user questions tonight?
I like it, but let me.
I would like to see
I'm going to
some.
throw. Hang on. I'm going to throw an idea out there, and here's what we're going to do because this Same Old Arsenal USA we are affiliated with Same Old Arsenal. A lot of you are watching on the Same Old Arsenal YouTube channel, so we're going to knock off on the Same Old Arsenal channel. We're going to move over. We're going to move over to BG Media. So simply go into your search bar on YouTube, search Bearded Gooner Media, and you'll find my channel, and we're going to continue over there. So we're going to knock off on Same Old Arsenal. We're going to continue on BG Media. Please jump over there. We're going to go, just like Magic Mike said, we're going to go some user questions because a lot of you in the chat have posed questions tonight. So let's all move over to BG Media. Pose your questions in the chat. We'll answer as many as we can. Look, we're having a good time. All right. Well, the three of us.
And hit the thumbs up before you check out, people.
Please. Hit the thumbs up on both channels, whichever channel you're watching on. Hit the thumbs up or hit the thumbs down. Just give us an interaction. If you don't like what we said tonight, give us a thumbs down. If you think we're fat and ugly, give us a thumbs down. I'm fat and ugly.
Careful.
So you're not wrong.
I'm fat, but I'm really hot, though.
Megan thinks so.
Temperature-wise, right?
Megan thinks so.
I'm punching above my weight when it comes.
I mean, aren't we all?
It's pretty hard to
We're
punch above my weight.
Listen, we've all outkicked our coverage. On that note, we've all outkicked our coverage. So if you have a question that you want to be answered, you're going to go onto YouTube. You're going to search Bearded Gooner Media. You're going to jump over there. You're going to watch the show on that channel, and that's where we're going to answer your questions. So for those of you that say, you know what, fuck it, I don't feel like doing all that, fair enough. Appreciate you watching on Same Old Arsenal. We're switching over to Bearded Gooner Media, and on that note, we will say...
I just put the link in the chat, so it shouldn't be that hard to find.
Whoops, I don't want to delete it on YouTube.